Happy Wednesday. Once again, I hope you guys had an amazing weekend and that your week is off to a really great start. So far, my week is going off pretty great. Honestly, no complaints. I officially started my new job and I'm loving it so far. So feeling really positive, feeling really excited. This entire time I've just been making videos, and I've been making videos that I've been interested in, or I've just been feeling called to make, or like whatever. And I was like, okay, let me just take to Instagram and see what the people want to see, you know? Because I mean, I can make whatever I want to make, but at the end of the day, it comes down to like what you guys find value in. Also, sorry, that's Geppetto making a ruckus. But besides the point, took to Instagram and I was like honestly so surprised. You know, I got quite a few different recommendations or requests from people, some of them being like a makeup routine, some of them being more videos with Geppetto. See how many people actually just wanted like story time videos. And I personally don't think that I'm like a great storyteller, or like if my stories are even captivating. I don't know. I just feel like I'm a talkative person, and sometimes like I might even be sharing too much, but I just love to talk, you know? And I guess multiple people had said they want storytime videos, and some people had specific topics they wanted to touch on. Some were just generic, like story time. And I was like, man, if it's gonna be my first like story time and me just literally telling a story about my life, like I was just reflecting and really trying to think of like, what is like one of the craziest things or funniest or weirdest or most interesting thing that I've experienced that people might enjoy. And so this one is kind of TMI. It's honestly kind of gross, but it happened. And so I feel like I might as well literally just tell this story and share it and let people know that it happens. It's okay if you're in the same boat. No judgment, man. You can reach out if you have any questions. But I decided I was going to share this story. And so, yeah, I guess my first story time video is going to be about me getting my first colonoscopy, because I know it's not going to be the only one. Getting my first colonoscopy at the age of 23. Yeah, we'll just like let that sink in for a second. Homegirl really had a colonoscopy at 23. It's kind of a lot to process. It's kind of a lot. But it happened. So a homegirl over here, me, yeah, she's lactose intolerant. And as time has progressed and as life has gone on, it's just gotten severely, even more severely worse. And you know, I just keep trying to lie to myself and say that I can like get past it, or that it's not that bad. It's worth the pain. Like, is it really worth the pain? This was actually when I was working at Crossroads, which if you haven't heard of Crossroads or you don't know anything about it, is this really awesome thrift store that actually buys clothes in from people and then gives these clothes like a second chance at life by reselling them to another person. And a lot of the times they're going to be like luxury brands, designer brands. Sometimes people just, they buy these things and they don't really want to wear them, or maybe it's out of season or it's not their style anymore. And so I really loved working at Crossroads because it was really giving clothes and the clothing industry, which is a huge, you know, it's a pretty wasteful industry, but it's kind of taking that and then giving it a second life. And so I really loved my time at Crossroads. It definitely has a special place in my heart. But I actually had this issue while I was at Crossroads. And if any of my friends that were working with me at this time didn't know, now I'm exposing myself. So, I had a colonoscopy while I was working at Crossroads. Sorry, friends. And it was honestly a really exciting time because I had just transitioned from being, you know, just a training buyer to becoming an associate buyer. And it was really awesome because we were celebrating that. And they decided to celebrate that by getting me pizza, which, oh my God, if anyone knows, I mean, I'm sure you all know, you guys have all had pizza before. Like, pizza is just amazing and it's one of the best and I love it. And even though I'm lactose intolerant, I was super excited and I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna have some pizza. That day I had eaten probably like 3 or 4 slices. Like, come on, the party was for me. I'm gonna have a good ass time. I'm gonna eat the pizza, you know? So I had 3 or 4 slices of pizza. And I kind of knew going into that later that night or tomorrow morning, it was gonna be a problem. But I was excited and said, well, you got this, like you can handle it. So whatever, went throughout my day, ate the pizza, got home at night. I remember feeling a little bit crampy and bloated, but you know, nothing out of the ordinary. That was all to be expected. And I remember, I think that the next day I was supposed to be like either an opening or a mid shift. And at the time I was actually one of the floor managers there, floor supervisors. And so it was pretty pertinent that I was there, you know? So I woke up maybe like 2 hours before my shift, and the first thing I had to do was I had to go to the bathroom. I like woke up with this like sharp, severe pain in my stomach, and I was like, if I do not go to the bathroom right now, I know something bad is gonna happen. And so I got up, went to the bathroom, sat on the toilet, you know, did my business, did what I had to do. And, you know, I was sitting on the toilet, and like, let me tell you that, this is so gross, I'm so sorry. That was like a 15-20 minute process, was just like me on the toilet, relieving myself, relieving the pressure, or so I thought. And I grab the toilet paper and I wipe. And I pulled the toilet paper out, and there was so much blood on that toilet paper that my mouth, I literally was like, in shock, like freaking out, like, oh my God. When it looks like when you're on like a heavy period and you wipe yourself, and that's to be expected because you know you're on your period. Well, homegirl was not on her period. She just pooped. So why was there all this blood on the toilet paper? And I decided to like look into the toilet bowl. As disgusting as that sounds, I know, I just had to see like what was going on, you know? So I like stand up a little bit and I look into the toilet bowl, and I shit you not, the entire toilet bowl was just red. Like the whole thing was red, like blood everywhere. Like it honestly looked like if someone had made like Kool-Aid with a little too much water, and it could have been like maybe 1.5 scoops more of red Kool-Aid, but like, that's what the toilet bowl looked like. And it should not look like that when you poop. If your poop looks like that right here, right now, let this be your calling sign that you should probably get a colonoscopy and make an appointment to do so, because that's not normal. And so I was freaking out. My stomach was hurting. I was like crying. I literally started crying, like bawling my eyes out, because I was just like, what the you know what I mean? Like, this cannot be happening right now. Like, oh my God. And so I called my mom and my dad, called them, and I was like, guys, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm freaking out. I just took a shit and my entire toilet bowl is red. I've never seen it look like this before. Like, what do I do? What do I do? And my mom and dad, they're both in the medical field, and they were like, this is a medical emergency, Angel. Like, you cannot do anything else. Like, you need to go to the emergency room. I mean, I have work in an hour. They were like, no, you are not going to work. You need to go to the emergency room right now. And I was home alone this day, so I literally had to, pack up all my stuff. I like took the world's quickest body shower, like put on clothes, and I just went straight to the closest emergency room. Like, I had to call out of work. I'm so sorry. I had to handle this business. So I get to the emergency room, and I'm like crying because I'm so scared. Like, my parents are like,
this is an emergency, like a red flag, like this is like severe, like something could be seriously wrong with you. You could be internally bleeding, like blah, blah, blah.
Like, they're in the medical field, so they're thinking like worst case scenario, like listing off all these things. And I'm like, I went to school for business. Like, I don't like blood. I don't like poop. I don't like anything like this. Like, it was not okay. And so basically, I got there and I told them, and as soon as you tell them that you have like that much blood coming out and like what your situation is, like there were so many people waiting in the waiting room, and they were like, oh, fast. Like, they took me and they put me in, because my parents are right. It is a severe emergency when you have that much stuff coming out of you. Basically, the doctors told me to take my clothes off, and they said that to put on this gown. I had to put on this gown, completely be naked from the bottom half down, and the doctor literally had to shove his fingers up my butt to ensure that there was no hemorrhoids. So that was embarrassing. And also, I wasn't planning on going to the doctors and being seen naked by anyone. So my legs weren't shaved, you know, my girl wasn't shaved. It was just like, wow, we're really going in here. And you know what, they're doctors, so they've seen it all. They know. But it was just embarrassing. Like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And of course, the doctor's a guy. I'm like, great. Okay, great. This is great. So basically, he tells me to like lay down, roll over to my side, and then prepare myself. He's like, oh, my fingers might be cold. I'm like, don't add commentary, bro. Like, just do what you gotta do. I don't want to know if your fingers are cold. I don't want to know if they're hot. I don't want to know if they're lukewarm. Just, yeah, as long as they're clean, that's all that matters. His fingers up there and started feeling around. And he was like, okay, all looks good down here. No hemorrhoids. And so I was like, okay, great. So I'm good to go home? And he's like, no. I was like, great. What else? So he's like, well, because it doesn't look like you have hemorrhoids down here, it could be something more serious. And I'm like, great. You sound like my mom and dad now. Great. Thank you, doctor. He's like, well, we're going to have to do like blood samples and check out like what's going on because it might be something deeper than that. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I am literally like the worst person with blood. I like freak out about it. I don't like watching like any videos really of like surgeries and things like, but the weird thing is I do like Dr. Pimple Popper. For some reason, the blood, if it's coming from a pimple, doesn't bug me. But any other type of blood freaks me out. He was like, you're going to have to get your blood drawn. And I was like, great. That's awesome. So me, 23 years old, but still a big old baby, goes up to the nurse and I'm like, hey, like, I don't really do too good with needles, which makes no sense because I have tattoos, I have piercings, like, I don't know what it is, but I don't do well with that kind of stuff. And I was like, I don't do too good. Like, just make it quick, you know? And she's like, oh, don't worry. Like, I specialize with children. You'll be fine. And so that made me feel a lot better. And you know what? It wasn't that bad. You know, they took my blood. I sat there for a little bit. Afterwards, they were like, hey, like, you can sit here for a while. I know you said you're not too good with blood. And they gave me a lollipop. And so I really felt like I was a kid again. It was great. So basically, after they took my blood, I had to wait in the waiting room again and wait for the results. And the results came back and they're like, okay, everything looks good. And I was like, awesome, so I can go home? And they're like, we still don't know what's wrong with you. And I was like, so there's more. So you mean tell me that there's more? Got it. Okay, so you've checked inside of my butthole. You've checked my blood. Like, literally, what else could you possibly do to ensure that I'm healthy? Like, do you know what a colonoscopy is? And I was like, I'm pretty sure I do. Like, both of my parents are older, and they've both gotten colonoscopies, and I've seen them go through the pain of drinking that disgusting juice stuff that makes you go so that you can get a colonoscopy. So I'm aware of what they are. And I was like, oh my God, no. You're telling me I have to get a colonoscopy at 23? I'm pretty sure you have to get your first colonoscopy at like 50. Like, what am I half the age of the average person who needs to get a colonoscopy doing right now? Like, how have I let myself get here? I forgot to mention my mom's mom, so my grandma on my mom's side, had actually passed away from stomach cancer. And so this is actually really important because of my history that we actually go back and look at what's wrong with me, you know? And so basically the doctor was like, yeah, unfortunately, that's the next step. We really just want to make sure that everything's okay. So I was like, great, awesome. So I had to schedule myself an appointment with a specialist and get ready to get my insides looked at. Yay! It was not a fun time. Basically, when you get a colonoscopy, you get this literally disgusting, salty, thick, like 7-Up like tasting drink that you have to drink. Like 24 hours before your procedure, you have to drink it, which does the first cleanse of your colon. But not only that, you also have to do it the morning of. And so basically, you have to prep your entire body for like 48 hours before you get this procedure to make sure that your whole insides is cleared out. And let me tell you, when you are prepping yourself for almost 2 days for this type of a procedure, you are spending the entirety of those hours you're spending on the toilet. Like, there is no questions asked. You and yourself in the toilet, that's your best friend for that time. And honestly, it sucks. It sucks. Like, you feel nauseous and you just feel sick to your stomach. And like, you sit down on the toilet and, you know, it just comes out like hot lava. I'm sorry, I know it's TMI, but it literally comes out like hot lava. And then you finish that up. And then you lay down or you sit down. In my case, I was laying down because I felt like shit. But I lay down for literally 5 or 10 minutes and then I'd have to go again. It was insane. I've never gone to the bathroom so much in my entire life. Oh my God. And I know that it's happening again. I was going to say soon, hopefully not soon, but in the distant future. And just knowing that and being aware of the atrocities that you put your body through for this procedure, I'm scared. I'm scared for it. I'm not going to lie. And then you're sitting on the toilet and then the amount of times you're going, you know, you're wiping so much and then your butt gets chapped and that's just uncomfortable. Like, no one wants a chapped booty. Also though, side note, friendly tip. If you do get a chapped booty, Vaseline and gloves. That's all I'll say. Fast forward to the day of my procedure. I actually had one of my really good friends at the time, Maddie Green, take me to my colonoscopy procedure. So shout out to you, Maddie Green, if you are watching. Went to my procedure. And with this type of a procedure, you're literally getting like I don't know how many feet, but maybe like a 5-foot telescope or camera shoved into your body through your anus. So yeah, this is the type of procedure that they want to put you out for, you know? One of the things about this experience that really trips me up is that I had my very first out-of-body experience during my colonoscopy, and it was crazy. So basically, they wheeled me into my little room, and they put the IV in me, and they were like, okay, we're gonna put you to sleep. And I was like, okay, yay, you know, and I warned them when I got my wisdom teeth pulled out, the doctor went up to my sister and asked, like, hey, it took a lot to knock her out. Is she usually this strong with like anesthesia and stuff? And so basically with that prior knowledge, I told my anesthesiologist, and I just want to let you know that the last time I had to go under for a procedure, it took a lot to knock me out. So like, don't be scared. Like, you knock my ass out. Like, I don't want to wake up during this. You know, I'm cool off that. So I warned him. And I don't know how long I was out. You lose all concepts of time when you go under these drugs and when you're in a procedure. Like, I don't know how long I was out. But basically, while I was laying on the table on my side like this, and they had the camera up my butt, my astral body like disconnected from my physical body. And I was like laying down, and I like remember seeing myself like laying, and then the two doctors, so there's like one doctor like sitting right where my butt is with the hand on the camera and stuff, and there's like a nurse behind him. And I just remember like seeing them, and I'm seeing myself and being like, what the actual is going on? Like, whoa, you know? And basically, like, I saw myself and I just was like, I need to get back into my body right here, right now. Like, I just can't be doing this, you know? And like, as soon as I went back into my body, I was so uncomfortable because once my like astral body was like back in my physical body and I could feel everything, because like not only am I mentally awake, but like now I can like feel my body again, you know? And what they do when you get a colonoscopy is they actually have this like, I guess, miniature leaf blower. You could think of it like that, but it's literally blowing air into your butt like a fan. And then they put the air into you so that the camera can go into you smoothly and the passageways can be open. And so I could literally feel the air being blown into my butt. I couldn't feel the camera moving, but I could like feel pressure down there. And I was like, this is actually so uncomfortable. And I remember waking up and like trying to like formulate words, and like I just couldn't communicate. Like, I can feel a fan blowing air up my ass, or like I didn't know how to communicate anything, but the only thing I could think of saying in that moment to the doctor was, because he had a camera right here, and so I could actually see. It was so weird. I literally was seeing the inside of my body, and like I don't know what part they were in it was pretty deep, I'm guessing, though, because all I could see was really like fleshy pink colors and a little bit of darkness, you know, but it was like on this screen right here. And I just remember looking at that and saying to the doctor, I can see everything that you're doing. And he literally turns around and smiles at me. Good, you can help me check that there's nothing weird going on. And I was like, oh my God, like what? And then I'm pretty sure at that time they had like given me more anesthesia or something, because after that I was like out. I like passed out the rest of that procedure, thank God. But that was honestly traumatizing. Like, first of all, what kind of doctor is like, I'm totally okay with you being okay, like watch what I'm doing? Like, what? Also, he kind of looked like the Colonel Sanders guy from KFC. So, like, I don't know. It was just giving me weird feelings about that. I have no idea. My procedure ends and I go back into the room and Maddie was, like, waiting for me. Or, like, I don't remember, but I, like, woke up and she was, like, sitting there in a chair, like, next to me. And she's like, how you doing, buddy? And I was like, dude, that was the craziest experience of my life. And then the nurse comes in to, like, come back and check up on me, and I literally, like, as she's like talking to me, I'm like farting. I'm just like, oh my God, it was so embarrassing. Like, she's like wrapping me out, like, yeah, like, so the procedure went really well, like they were able to like get all the information that they needed. It turns out I don't want to discuss exactly what was going on, but I'll just say there's nothing like miserably wrong with me. I don't have any terminal illnesses. I'm fine. There are just certain foods that I need to avoid and stay away from. And so basically the nurse and doctor were like explaining that to me and like, you know, checking out with me and stuff. And like as they're talking, I'm literally like farting, and it's just so embarrassing. And like they're also kind of like moist and wet. And I asked them, like, why is it kind of moist? Am I pooping myself? Like, did you guys like loosen me up so much where stuff is just like coming out? And they're like, no, like we did have to put lubricants on you. So like if weird stuff is coming out, like it's because of that. And so I was like, okay. And then I asked them about that like air feeling, and they're like, yeah, so yeah, we do have to like blow air into you in order to get the scope to go in and for us to be able to see. And so yeah, it's normal for you to just be farting for the like post, like the after for 24 hours or 48 hours, just like gassing it up. So I was definitely doing that. Honestly, that was definitely one of the craziest experiences I've ever had as far as like health-wise, and then also like astral projecting for so far like my one only real time doing that. And so this experience as a whole was honestly so trippy. 0 out of 10 would not recommend getting a colonoscopy. If you have the chance, really wait it out until you have to go when you're 50. But like I said, I really wanted to share this experience with you guys because one, it's a really funny story. Two, if you are going through something similar and you're having a lot of stomach issues and like have a weird bowels, like do not hesitate to reach out. I know it sounds weird, but I'm here to support you through this because I know it can be really scary. It's such a freaky thing. But yeah, that's basically it. So please thumbs up this video if you liked the story time, if you want more interesting videos of me just sharing experiences with you. Thumbs up for vulnerability. Thumbs up for fun storytelling. I hope you guys have a really great rest of the week and an amazing weekend. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.